Skyblock. It's got a few problems. Who would have thunk? Gotta say, I've really enjoyed the Crimson Isle update so far. Loot Share has made fishing much more enjoyable, Blaze Slayer's grapple shot, albeit slightly bugged, is crazy fun. New mechanics like attributes and equipment pieces enable further customizability, etc, etc. But it's more than obvious that this update wasn't quite ready on release. I mean, on day one, neither the Mage nor Barbarian questline were actually completable due to the mini-bosses just not being there for some reason. You couldn't open Auger's menu, but only if you were a Barbarian. Crimson Armor was bugged to make you attack way too quickly. One of the faction quests required doing the dojo challenge that literally isn't in the game yet, and many more. Most of these bugs were quickly patched. Good. But a few are still in the game. Like, I don't think one Terra piece is supposed to give you the 2-piece set bonus, but because of this, a lot of people are investing in Terra. Similarly, mana pool is completely broken right now, because instead of increasing your mana, it increases your intelligence. But Powliner, isn't that the same thing? No! There's a very big difference, being that only intelligence is counted in the ability damage formula. So mana pool shouldn't make you hit any harder, just give you more mana to work with. Also, speaking of bugs, how did someone reach 26,000 score on this dojo trial? How did they not run out of blocks to stand on? Anyways, the main complaint people have is that certain items are soulbound. Most of these are just random resources, but it also includes a few talismans and, most importantly, all of the upgraded Kudra armor sets. But this really isn't as big of a problem as people are making it out to be. To upgrade the Kudra armor, you need a few different resources. Coins, essence, heavy pearls, Kudra teeth, and, of course, a swift click of the subscribe button. Come on now, you knew I had to do it. Perhaps even gently pat the like button if you're feeling extra nice. Anyways, coins are obviously not the issue, and Crimson Essence can effectively be purchased by just buying fishing gear and salvaging it. Not that this was intended though. The one people seem to really hate are heavy pearls, and I really don't get why. If you're unfamiliar, heavy pearls can only be obtained by, and I know this sounds a bit weird, getting swallowed by the matriarch, collecting them from the ground, and then escaping by repeatedly punching a Goomba stack of pigs. Anyhow, you can only get 3 per real life day, and people don't like that. But be honest, did you actually run out of heavy pearls? And if so, how? I have 59 left, actually 62 now. Granted, I've only upgraded 2 different pieces so far, but still. If you're running out, then you're probably trying to upgrade like 3 sets at a time, which just isn't the way to go. Either that, or you're a bit of a gamer. Seriously, 15H, how do you have Infernal already? What the fuck? My point is that heavy pearls shouldn't be an issue for 99% of players. The Kudra teeth can be, however. These have a 100% chance to be in the big chest at the end of any Kudra boss. Luckily, basic tiers are pretty quick, and can easily be completed with just one Hype Mage. But here's the issue. You need a key to open the chest. And to get said key, you need to either kill a lot of Vanquishers and trade in the nether stars they drop at your faction's emissary, or kill a lot of mini-bosses. And this is where the core problem of this update becomes obvious. Doing either of these 2 things is so much faster with a Hyperion. In fact, almost everything in this update is. And the difference between a player without a hype and a player with one is massive. Even back when Crimson Armor was bugged to be crazy broken, hyping the mini-bosses was still just as effective as meleeing them. Keep in mind, we're comparing a single target build that was bugged to be way too powerful to an AoE build that worked as intended. Not to mention the Hyperion also heals you. It makes absolutely no sense for it to be this strong. Here's the issue. Nerfing the Hyperion's damage would throw off Master Mode balance. Not good. And while giving the Crimson Isle mobs more magic resistance would work, it also make all the other mage weapons much worse in the process. And you can't buff those because then they'd be broken in dungeons. It's not easy to balance it. Setting that aside, overall I'm a fan of the Kudra armor sets. Or rather I would be, if only there was a fun way of getting Crimson Essence. Currently you have two options: fishing and salvaging the gear, or buying fishing gear and salvaging it. Now that I think about it, it's more like you don't have a choice, huh? I like Skyblock because it provides the player with many choices. Sure, you get essence from Kudra, but come on, 16 essence per big chest? Yeah, I don't think so. I think the idea was to also salvage the Kudra armor, but currently that's just way less efficient than buying fishing gear and salvaging it instead. Although not all hope is lost. The final 3 Kudra tiers are not out yet, so hopefully they A. give way more essence, and B. are fun and different enough from the first 2 tiers. Because let me tell you, that wasn't the case on AlphaNet. A real easy way to make them more exciting would be adding new rare drops to higher tiers. Fatal Tempo, Inferno, and the Enrager, aka the I added 4 too many zeros to the drop chance of this item, oh god, oh fuck, are all nice and good, but I'd really like to see each Kudra tier have its own identity in terms of both gameplay and drops. Moving on. In my opinion, the stupidest thing they've done was nerfing the Blaze Pet to no longer buff strength and crit damage with the Blink armor perk. Why though? This wasn't needed, and very much wasn't wanted. By anyone. Attribute shards are an awesome concept, and stuff like Mana Pool and Breeze make cool playstyles like Necromancy much more viable. But as of right now, half of these attributes might as well not exist. Not even because they're bad, they're awesome. Elite and Life Recovery offer great effects, yet they're practically worthless because all of the weapons they go on are prime doo-doo. And the ones that are viable act better as support items, so attributes don't even matter anyways. What if, hear me out, they made a cool new weapon that drops from the higher Kudra tiers? Maybe a new AoE Berserker weapon, maybe a new Boomerang. There's so many possibilities, yet what we got was a glorified Jingle Bells that's bugged to make you take more damage instead. Speaking of missed opportunities, the Wisp Pet is just unfortunate. It seems insane with all these stats and perks, and while they do make you super tanky, they don't provide any damage. Resulting in... well, you see the difference on screen now. The Drop Hammer perk was supposed to force you to use it, since there's no other way to break fire pillars. But turns out the Withercloak sword does in fact exist. Because of this, one of the rarest drops, the Sub-Zero Inverter, costs practically nothing for how rare it is, making the whole Blaze Slayer experience less exciting, since the best drop is a funny piece of paper worth 100 million coins. The thing is, almost all the strats I've gone over were already being used on Alpha when we were testing the update, which really begs the question, why did we test this for over a month, just for the same bugs, cheeses, and unbalanced gameplay to make it over to the live version? Granted, the bugs were quickly patched for the most part, but it still kinda ruined the day one experience. I know it may not seem like it, but overall this is one of my favorite updates ever, and many of the new mechanics have a lot of potential which I'm sure we'll see further explored in the future. But was it really worth 9 months of waiting? In its current state, I can't say so. But feel free to let me know what you think in the comments. Okay, bye bye now.